Hi, everyone. This is Karen Donaldson from Excel Weight Loss Solution. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, we are going to be talking about despair anchors or limiting beliefs, sabotaging beliefs. And what exactly is a despair anchor? What's a limiting belief? Well, a good way to figure this out is to just take a look at times where you've really felt stuck. It could be stuck with weight loss or a financial situation or a relationship or really anything. Mostly for today, we're going to be talking about being stuck with not being able to release weight or not being able to stop cravings or emotional eating or not being able to stay out of weight once you get to it and you find yourself going back to your previous weight. So if you're stuck and you don't know why, it is very often because of what we call a sabotaging belief, or in the body code system, which I'm going to share with you in just a moment, it's because of what we call a despair anchor, something that is literally weighing you down and keeping you stuck. So how do you know if you have one of these? How do you know if you have a despair anchor or a sabotaging belief? And it's pretty easy to figure this out. You just have to tune into what your body is thinking and what you're feeling. And one of the easiest ways to figure this out is to notice what you say at the end of one of your statements. For example, if you say, "Oh, I really want to lose weight. I really want to lose weight." But you hear this little voice in the back of your mind that says, "Yeah, but," that is a despair anchor. That is a sabotaging belief. So I really want to have this happen. Yeah, but I really want to go to school. Yeah, but I really want this relationship to work out. Yeah, but whenever you hear that little yeah, but, I call them yeah, buts, that's a good sign that you have a sabotaging belief or a despair anchor, something going on in your subconscious mind that is going to be blocking you. Because here's the deal about our subconscious minds. Imagine here's your mind, and 10%, I always look at like the top of your head, 10% of your thoughts are conscious thoughts. Those are the things like, I really want to lose weight. I want this to happen. 90% of what's going on up here is actually in your subconscious mind. And very often it's stuff that we're not even aware of, these despair anchors, these sabotaging beliefs. But those are running the show behind the scenes. That is how powerful they are. We don't even know they're there unless we've done some work to identify that they're there. But those are really the thoughts and the beliefs and the emotions that are running the show behind the scenes. And how do we know that this is true? You may be like, whatever, I don't know if I have those beliefs, but can they really be that powerful? And the answer is yes, they absolutely can be that powerful, and they really are that powerful. And a way to know that this is true is to think about some of the thoughts that you have been telling yourself for years or decades, or as long as you can remember, maybe since you were a small child. Some beliefs such as, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or this will never happen, or I'll never be able to lose weight. I can't stop my cravings and emotional eating. No matter what I do, the weight never stays off. If you have said statements like that before, then you have that in itself is a sabotaging belief, a despair anchor. And even if you haven't said it every day, it's running the show behind the scenes. And how do you know that it is? Because it's coming true for you. You are struggling with stopping your cravings and emotional eating. You aren't able to release the weight, or if you are, you aren't able to keep it off. So we know by default that these beliefs, these sabotaging beliefs and despair anchors work because they've been working for us behind the scenes for a really long time. And they can affect, again, many areas of your life, your finances. I'll never have enough money. I'll never find the right job. I'll never be able to pay off my bills. I'll always be in debt. Those are examples of financial ones that if you have those beliefs, they are running the show behind the scenes subconsciously. And sure enough, You never have enough money. You don't find the right job. You don't pay off your bill, your bills. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Or I'll never find the right person. I'll never be in a good relationship. All men are bad. All women are horrible. Blah blah blah. Whatever the case happens to be, then that is what's going to show up for you, because that has been running the show behind the scenes. It's like a broken record that just keeps playing over and over and over. And whether you're conscious of it or not, that is actually where you are putting your attention. That is where your mind is focused on basically making that be true. So what happens when we have these beliefs or thoughts in our minds is they become what I call like an anti-vision board. Now, a vision board is great. If you have a vision board and you have spelled out what is important to you and what you would like to desire and what you desire in your life and what you would like to have happen in your life, and you put focus and attention on that, then guess what? That stuff actually starts to happen. And it's because there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system that once you tell it what to focus on, it's like, ooh, it's like a laser. It really, really wants to focus on that. And it seeks out experiences and people and events that match the seed that you have planted in your mind. It really, really works like that. You give it a little bit of attention, you do some mindset work, you use repetition and some other tools and techniques, but pretty soon that becomes the pattern, the belief, the phrase that is played over and over and over in your mind. That's the broken record, but it's in a good way. It's what you desire instead of what you don't desire. And so if you put that good energy out there with the positive things that you desire, you actually have a chance to rewire your brain, to reprogram it with what you would like to have happen instead of what you would not like to have happen. So again, we know by default that this works because most of us have been doing it for most of our lives, but without focus on what we want to have happen. Just by default, it's been, well, I'm too lazy, or I'm never going to do this, or it's too hard. And then those things become true. So I want to share a little bit more about what a despair anchor is, and then also talk a bit about how we can get rid of those old despair anchors and then replace them actually with some thoughts that work for you instead of working against you. And so I'm quoting right now from the emotion code, the body code system actually. And I'm really excited to share this resource. This is the Emotion Code book. It is written by Dr. Bradley Nelson. I actually got to interview him all about how, excuse me, trapped emotions and negative belief systems affect our cravings and our emotional eating and our weight. And if you'd like to watch that interview, which is fascinating, you just go to my website at excelweightloss.com, excelweightloss.com, excelweightloss.com. And you can find my interview with Dr. Bradley Nelson there, again, author of the Emotion Code. You can also find my free webinar on how to stop cravings and emotional eating. And in that webinar, I just tell you everything that's going on. There are 5 steps really to follow to help you stop your cravings and emotional eating. And they really don't have anything to do with food. It doesn't have to do with carbs or proteins or fats. It's more what is going on inside of your mind and inside of your heart. So if you'd like to watch either of those interviews or webinars, I highly encourage you to check them out at my website. But this concept of despair anchors, negative belief systems, sabotaging beliefs, it's actually more than a concept. These are facts about what's going on in our subconscious minds. But using the body code system, of which the emotion code is a part of, Dr. Bradley Nelson explains that a despair anchor is the subconscious mind being a computer. I'm sorry, I'm going to back up. A despair anchor is the energy of a negative statement. The energy of a negative statement that is perceived as a truth by your subconscious mind. So the energy of a negative statement perceived as being true by your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is kind of like a computer. It's like the hard drive of the computer. It stores everything, all of your memories from the time you were born and prior, every event that's happened to you, every emotion, every situation, everything is stored in your subconscious mind, again, like a computer. And if you have these negative statements, then your subconscious mind will seek out things to help fulfill that, to actually make that feel and be even more true for you. So it becomes very powerful. You have this belief in your mind, is like, let's go find some more situations to make that be really true. And before you know it, something else is showing up to sabotage your weight loss or a relationship or your finances. And you're like, see, I told you, that's true, that's true, that's true. And the more that happens, the more true it becomes. That appears to be the physical reality of what's going on. But we can change that by changing what's going on in your subconscious mind. But there are a few steps involved with doing that. These despair anchors, these sabotaging beliefs, again, I'm quoting from Dr. Bradley Nelson, they're usually created from severe or repetitive negative thought patterns. So repetitive thought patterns, severe negative thought patterns that are often related to feelings of despair, self-abuse, resentment, and shame. So we have these thoughts, we have these emotions, pretty heavy emotions of despair, maybe hopelessness, resentment, shame, abusing of ourselves. And they're kind of like a trapped emotion. Now, if you don't know what a trapped emotion is, again, I'm going to refer to the emotion code. And it explains all about trapped emotions and how these are energies that are basically trapped in our bodies. So for example, if you are 5 years old and someone says something very mean to you and hurts your feelings, and you feel sad about that, you have just created that energy of sad in your body, that emotion of sad, you're experiencing that. And if you don't know how to process it or let it go, which that's not usually something that we're taught as small children, like, oh, you're feeling sad, let me help you process that and then let it go. It's more like, oh, you're feeling sad, and you might not even tell anybody, nobody might notice, or someone might say, oh, get over it, everything's fine, what are you worried about? Or you just learn how to bury your feelings, which happens to a lot of people. So we end up with a lot of trapped energies or trapped emotions in our bodies. And those, of course, can cause problems with our physical health, our mental health, and our emotional health. So those are good to address for those reasons. And these despair anchors, these sabotaging beliefs, are a lot like, I'm checking the time here, they are a lot like negative trapped emotions. They get stuck in your body, they get stuck in your subconscious mind, and they can influence everything, your self-image, they can create future negative thought patterns, and they keep that vicious cycle going over and over and over again. It's like the law of attraction, but not in a great way. So law of attraction doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say, oh, no, Karen, that's not a good thought. Let's not attract anymore like that. It's like, oh, here's another thought, and we're going to put the law of attraction to work and keep attracting more of that to us. And again, we see that all the time. If we believe that we can't do something at a very deep level, then we are presented with lots of experiences that prove that we can't do it. Like, see, told you, you can't do it. And then you're like, well, I have more evidence that I can't do that. And then that despair anchor becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And it really is running the show behind the scenes. So again, how do you know if you have a despair anchor? Well, pause for just a moment and think about your beliefs about releasing weight and also keeping it off. So just close your eyes for a moment. And maybe you'll say something like, I'd really like to lose weight. I want to release this weight. I'd love to permanently release this weight. And notice any thoughts that come up that are to the contrary, like, well, that's not going to happen, or it's never happened before. Why do you think you'll be successful now? Nothing turns out for you anyway. It's pointless to try. Everything that I try doesn't work anyway. Why bother? It's going to be too hard. Or you could have other thoughts like, oh, then I'm going to have to give up some of the things that I like to eat. I'm going to have to change my life. What's my identity going to be like? Who am I going to be without this? Those are examples of despair anchors or sabotaging beliefs. And again, if you've got those going on, then they really are going to run the show behind the scenes. So we want to get rid of them. It's really imperative that we get rid of them and create new beliefs that will support us in what we would like to have happen instead of what we don't want to have happen. So we're going to take a break for just a moment. And when I come back, we're going to talk about how the heck do we get rid of these and what can we do about them? So I'm going to pause for a moment, have a drink of water, and I'll be right back. So welcome back, everyone. My name is Karen Donaldson. I am a registered dietitian, but I am also an EFT, which is Emotional Freedom Techniques, that tapping thing, that amazing tapping thing. I'm an EFT certified practitioner and EFT certified weight loss coach. And I am also a certified emotion code practitioner, which is wonderful, and an expert on mindset, especially when it comes to changing up your mindset so that you can release the weight and you can keep it off. And the mindset piece is so important. That's pretty much what we're talking about today, is how do we change our mindset? I am the owner of Excel Weight Loss Solutions. You can find me at excelweightloss.com. And if you want to email me, go ahead and reach out at excelweightloss@gmail.com. And I would love to answer any questions for you. Also, if you'd like to schedule a time for a free consultation, go to excelweightloss.com/apply, APPLY, and we'll get you set up for a visit to chat about what's going on for you with your cravings and emotional eating and weight release. So we've been talking about despair anchors, and we've identified that these are beliefs that are in our subconscious mind that are running the show behind the scenes. And we talked a bit about how to identify them, tuning into your body, listening to any resistance that you're having coming up. So after you've identified them, then what do? You're like, well, okay, great. I know what these are. What is next? Well, the cool thing is that there are ways to bring down the intensity of those despair anchors and eliminate them, and then plant the seeds of some new ones. Some of the best ways, one of the best ways I know to get rid of despair anchors and sabotaging beliefs is with EFT tapping, Emotional Freedom Techniques tapping, which I do all the time and which I use in my programs all the time, and also the emotion code and the body code. Both of those are very powerful energy healing techniques that actually can change what's going on in your subconscious mind. There are other wonderful techniques as well, meditations and so on. But what I find to be a really crucial step with despair anchors is to bring down the intensity of it, or to get rid of the basis of it. So imagine if you have a despair anchor of, this is never going to happen, or I can't lose weight no matter what I do. Okay, so here, imagine that's a tabletop. I can't lose weight no matter what I do. You could probably come up with many legs of the table. So these are legs of the table that are supporting that tabletop of, I can't lose weight no matter what I do. And if we were talking, you go, Karen, really, it's true. No matter what I do, I've tried this and this and this and this. I can't lose weight no matter what I do. that is definitely a despair anchor that you would want to get rid of, because that's going to be sabotaging you for sure. So the way you would do that with EFT tapping is you would use that as your setup phrase. Even though I can't lose weight no matter what I do, I love and accept myself anyway. You would repeat that a couple times on the side of the hand. That's your setup statement. No matter what I do, I can't lose weight, no matter what. But I love and accept myself anyway. And that's a crucial piece. If you know about tapping, you know that's important. And if you don't know, that's an affirming statement. Like, even though I have this problem, and it's a big problem, I'm okay. All right. So your setup statement is really your belief system, your despair anchor. And then as you are tapping through the EFT tapping points, you're basically going to be tapping on the legs of the table with the intention of crumbling those legs of the table. Okay, so you may be saying things like, I tried this diet and I tried this diet and I failed at this program, and I tried this exercise and I tried every diet under the sun. And then I remember when I was 12 and my mom took me to the doctor, and then I tried this medication and these pills and these potions and so on and so forth. And you're tapping on each of those table legs. You're also tapping on any emotions that come up for you during that process. So you may be tapping and feeling like, oh, I'm feeling some nauseous feeling in my gut, or I feel tension in my neck and shoulders, or oh, I have a headache just thinking about this. So you're using the EFT tapping to bring down the intensity of those physical sensations that show up as well. And you just continue with your tapping until you feel like you have knocked down many of the legs of the table. Now, here's the cool thing. You have to knock down every table leg, especially if there are like 1,000 table legs. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, Karen, how long am I going to be here for? For the next 40 years, I have to knock down table legs, but it's not like that. With tapping, once you start to knock down some of the legs of the table, they start to crumble, and then the whole tabletop is able to crumble down as well. It is important, however, that you do tapping on some of the table legs, or the aspects of, as we call them, in order to get rid of that tabletop. So EFT tapping on the belief system, very powerful, very helpful, very effective. That's one technique. I'm going to share another technique with you right after the break, which I'm going to take right now. And so stay tuned and we'll learn more. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thanks again for being here. We're talking about techniques to get rid of despair anchors or negative sabotaging beliefs. I'm Karen Donaldson from Excel Weight Loss Solutions. You can find me at excelweightloss.com. You can also schedule a free consultation with me to learn more about how to make this happen for you. And for that, you go to excelweightloss.com/apply. And if you go to my website, you're going to see more information about EFT tapping and the emotion code and the body code. I did a fascinating interview with Dr. Bradley Nelson, the author of the Emotion Code, all about how trapped emotions get stuck in our bodies and cause havoc, basically, in many, many areas of our lives. And when you're trying to get rid of a despair anchor or a sabotaging belief, another way of doing it is by looking for other imbalances in your body. So, for example, is there a trapped emotion that is basically supporting this sabotaging belief or this despair anchor? Is there an underlying imbalance in a certain part of your body, like in an organ of your body or a tissue of your body? Or are you feeling disconnected from yourself? Is there an imbalance in the connection that you have with yourself or with your higher power? Is there a misalignment maybe in one of the energy or the emotion centers of your body? Is there something going on with your amygdala, which is the emotion center of your brain that's highly responsible for you having a fight or flight response? Are some of your meridians out of balance? The meridians are those electrical pathways that we use for EFT tapping and also for the emotion code. And what can happen sometimes is you can have a trapped emotion that is just basically affecting the optimal performance of the meridians in your body. So something is out of alignment. Something is a little bit out of balance. And that can also be a big contributor to what is going on with your negative sabotaging beliefs or your despair anchors. Certainly past traumatic events and all of the emotions that are associated with that can be a big factor. Things that are seemingly affecting your physical body can also be a factor as well, but usually there's some energy behind those too. I remember some years ago, I was traveling, our child was playing some sports and we were out of town for a tournament, and oh my gosh, my lower back was just killing me. I could barely get out of the car. We stopped for some lunch and I said to my family, I'm gonna have to wait in the car. You guys go ahead and do whatever. And while I was in the car, this was many, many years ago, I had just barely learned about tapping and releasing emotions. I thought, gosh, wonder if this has anything to do with being stressed out about money. I was in the early stages of my business. Things were very stressful. And so while everybody was in doing lunch, I'm out in the car in the parking lot doing some tapping and some clearing of these emotions and all of the stress that I was feeling. And within just a few minutes, I was like, this is interesting. It doesn't feel like my back is hurting, my lower back is hurting anymore. And so I thought, well, I get out of the car and I'll check that out and see. And lo and behold, it's like the pain was gone. And so really what had happened in that situation is that I was storing a lot of energy in that part of my body. And it was manifesting as a physical ailment or a physical pain. And the same thing happens with us with our belief systems. So we can get energies or emotions or thoughts that are trapped or hanging out in our body because we've stored them or we've stuffed them down with food. And they show up in the most interesting ways. We say interesting, but at the time, they're a little bit less than interesting. They're very annoying until you recognize what's going on, and then you try to see it as a blessing because you know you have an opportunity to release some emotions that are not serving you for your highest and best good. So then it becomes a good thing. So long story short, you can use the emotion code and the body code to correct imbalances that may be going on in your body, so that you can get rid of those despair anchors and the sabotaging beliefs. It's like those imbalances are contributing to and supporting those despair anchors and sabotaging beliefs. So we have EFT tapping, we have emotion code and body code, two of my favorite ones. When we come back, we're going to have one more break. And when we come back, I'm going to share another technique with you about how to get rid of them, and then also how to create the beliefs and the thoughts that you would like to have in your subconscious mind instead of the ones that you don't. Thanks for hanging in there and staying tuned, and I'll be back in just a moment. Hi again, everyone. I'm Karen Donaldson from Excel Weight Loss Solutions. I am a registered dietitian, an EFT certified practitioner, and certified weight loss coach, and a emotion code certified practitioner, and a mindset expert, especially when it comes to the area of cravings and emotional eating and releasing weight. And I'm also going to say a mindset expert in the area of prosperity for your business. So if you are an entrepreneur, even if you're not an entrepreneur, if you're looking to have a better mindset about financial prosperity with a business or a project, or you're a coach or something like that, I'm happy to share that information as well, because I have applied what I've learned for weight loss into my own business. and been very successful in both areas with weight loss and releasing trapped emotions and keeping weight off, but also enjoying financial prosperity and amazing clients with my business. So let me know if that's something else that you're interested in doing. So how does this work for any area, really, whether it's weight release or financial prosperity or for relationships or whatever? It has so much to do with your mindset. What do we mean by mindset? Well, it's basically, what do you believe, what you truly believe at a very deep level is possible for you. And once you plant those seeds in your subconscious mind, for example, I am successful, prosperity flows easily to me, I believe that I have a successful business, I easily release weight and keep it off permanently. I love the peaceful relationship that I have with food. This is fun, this is joyful. Movement is joyful and fun for me instead of, oh, I have to get in my steps, or exercise is so hard, or I hate it. The key here is that you want to plant the seeds of how you would like it to be, okay? Not how it is, because how it is might not be how you want it to be. So you plant the seeds of what you would really, really like to have happen. So if you would like to feel in control and feel powerful and empowered and have success, then you write affirmations. It's more than affirmations. So you write affirming statements about the best possible scenario. So I love my life at my healthy weight of blank. I love my business prosperity and how well things are flowing. You create those statements of what you desire, and then there are specific steps that you follow to nurture those statements. So you planted the seed, and now you want to give it attention. You want to use repetition and visual stimulation with words on paper or an online vision board, affirmations, so you can hear things, get into the energy of what does this feel like for you, what emotions are showing up for you. And then you want to pay attention to those thoughts. I love Louise Hay because she always talks about how to use affirmations and how to create things. And one time I was listening to one of her recordings, and she said, many people will say affirmations don't work. And that is an affirmation in itself, which is true. If you're like, well, affirmations don't work, then they aren't going to work for you. But there's an art to this. And the most important piece is repetition. However you create your statements, do a vision board, whatever you want to do, repetition. It's helpful to write out an affirmation and say, I am easily releasing weight and permanently releasing weight. But if you write it one time and you never look at it again and you never get any more attention, it's like you plant a seed in the garden, but you didn't go back and water it. You didn't give any fertilizer to the soil. And then the weeds, maybe there are weeds in the garden, and those weeds are all of your other beliefs that are hanging around in your subconscious mind, or your old despair anchors or sabotaging beliefs. Those are still there. So this little tiny seed that you planted, and then you just walked away and ignored it. And soon enough, all the weeds and all the other gunky stuff take over again, and they overpower that little seed, and they become stronger. So you still have all the gunky stuff or all the weeds, and you don't have the life that you desire and the life that you deserve. So absolutely plant the seed. Even if you don't believe that it's all the way true yet, you still want to plant the seed, but then nurture it, give it attention, listen to your affirmations, say them, do them, feel them, practice them, be in the energy of that. And that is how you make it happen. A really, really good example is the garden analogy. And if you know me at all, you know that I love gardening. And actually right behind me here in my office, I am growing vegetables. Yes, vegetables. I have vegetable gardens all through the summer. Where I live in the winter, that's not possible. So I bought these cool things called arrow gardens, which are fantastic. I'm growing lettuce and spinach and cilantro and tomatoes and herbs and all sorts of fun things. But here's the deal. If I never planted the seed, those vegetables would never grow. Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, I plant the seed. Well, if I put the seed into the little pot and I just leave it there, but I don't ever turn on the lights, and I don't give it water, and I don't add the fertilizer, and I don't attend to that, it's never going to grow. Maybe they're going to grow this big and then they're going to die. Okay. Same thing with our thoughts. The seeds that we're planting in our vegetable garden are just like the seeds that we're planting in our subconscious minds. So nurture them, give them attention, fertilize them, talk to them, be kind to them. That's how you make these despair anchors go away, and how you reinforce the things that you desire and the things that you want in your life. How time flies when you're having fun talking about how to get rid of despair anchors and how to create the life you desire. Thank you so much for tuning into this radio show. If you're listening into this webinar, if you're watching, I appreciate you taking the time. Again, you can find me, Karen Donaldson, at excelweightloss.com, EXCELWEIGHTLOSS.com. You can watch my interviews on my website. You can schedule an appointment, a free consultation to find out if there's something that I can do. Maybe we would work together on some of these. I have amazing programs where we do off the charts energy healing and mindset work every single week. If you want to be a part of that, then please reach out, schedule an appointment, and we'll talk. In the meantime, best wishes and positive thoughts to all of you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.